Hi everybody, how's it going? It's Jackson. Welcome back to Endeavours for Tuesday the 10th of February. As always, if you just like to jump straight ahead to one endeavour that you're searching for, or if you want to skip some stuff, just check the timecodes below. Just before I get into it, the game is on sale at the moment. It's 75% off, which as far as I'm aware is like the best deal you usually get these days. So Premium Edition and Content Pass. The Premium Edition, the only difference is that this also comes with all of the extra expansions that have come out in the past. Somerset includes Jewelry Crafting, Greymore includes Mythics and Antiquities, though that's becoming a base game thing in the future, and obviously the DLCs, like zones related to these areas. Just be aware Morrowind is free nowadays, so it doesn't really count there. Yeah, all of the other stuff is fair game. So yeah, if you don't own most of these, it's a really good deal. For like $30, that's basically how much you're going to spend on Somerset alone, so it's a pretty good deal. So this set here, it's a bit weird. I would probably go healing, daily quest, and crafting with alchemy. Just be aware that with the guild daily, things like writs and stuff don't work. There's only a few specific quests you can do, but they're all pretty straightforward. I would advise doing the mage skill daily because I think that is the quickest and most straightforward. Healing with scribe skills, really easy. There's sort of like an AFK method you can do. I'm going to start with this one because there's a skill you can get. You need a fair bit of money to get it sorted, but you can basically AFK this one. And while you're doing the other stuff, you can just do that too. Okay, so we need to go to the Scholarium just for me to show you some stuff. Okay, so any situation where you see this word in context of healing, this is referring to missing health. So if you get anything that heals you through scribing, it's not going to do anything. But if you go to take away some health from yourself, and then do it, well bam, it's going to start working. So if you can find an option or a skill that will reduce your health, and then just start healing, that's all you need to do. So obviously the easiest way is to just go and find some stuff to attack. Just let it hurt you, just make sure you don't kill it. Maybe like a public dungeon or a group dungeon. If you want to do a trial at the same time, you can use your scribing abilities to heal you through those. But the amount of time same thing with patrolling horror, but the amount of time you're going to be sitting there waiting for a trial is ages, so I probably wouldn't do that. And do remember, in Imperial City, in PvP areas, your healing is halved, so it's going to be slower. So I just recommend doing this outside. Now, as far as there's some skills you can use to take away health, like siphoning attacks here is the best one. So if you've got a Nightblade, or if you subclass into siphoning and have a high level in this, siphoning strikes here is arguably the best skill to use, because it takes away health, it gives you resources back, which you use to start healing yourself with scribing abilities. So this gives you magicka, takes away health, this uses magic, gives you health. So it's just a closed loop cycle that you can just do over and over and over. As opposed to in other, like there's other skills that you can use, but they don't heal you, so they don't give you resources, so it's just slower. So you can use other stuff. The most common and easy to use thing, easy to get as well, is Blood Altar. You can get this at level 10 on any character. All you need to do is head to Glanumbra here, go to Rosy Lion here. I'll show you where you need to, who you need to talk to. With the quest, just accept this quest, you'll unlock the Undaunted skill line. Blood Altar is here, you just get a point into this and just cast that instead of siphoning attacks. It does the same thing. There's one more skill I suggest you try and look at, and that is Blood Frenzy here. Mortar Simmering Frenzy if you can. This takes away health every 2 seconds and gives you a bunch of weapon and spell damage, which impacts healing, so it's worth it. So Blood Frenzy, you activate it as a toggle. But just be aware, this is regarded as a criminal act. If you cast this in the middle of a town, you're going to get a bounty, and it's going to be a pretty significant one. If you use this in your home, or just out in the overland, or if you use this in Cyrodiil or Imperial City, you will not get yourself a bounty. There's no bounty system in those places. So yeah, just out in towns, that's all you really need to worry about. Now, there is another skill I want to talk about. It's called Banner Bearer. This is a scribing skill which you can get if you get to support level 5. just like with every other grimoire you have to buy, it costs 50,000 gold for your first character, 10,000 for every other one. So it is expensive, but I think this thing is bloody worth it. The reason for that is it does require a little bit more setting up, but if you can get the immobilized focus, coincidentally enough, you get this from the Major Skill Daily Quest. So the thing I'm going to talk about doing next. Immobilize, Sage's Remedy, and anything here is fine. Preferably go Courage if you've got it for a bit more weapon and spell damage, because as I said before, that increases healing. But if not, just get anything you got. Preferably anything that increases your regen or increases your crit chance or anything like that. So in this case, I'll just go regen. Now, why this combo in specific? Sage's Remedy and Immobilize especially. So Immobilize causes this to cost health, and Sage's Remedy heals you every 2 seconds. So if you have this active, it will just slowly progress the endeavor for you, and you don't have to do anything about it. Especially when you're out of combat, the stamina usage will automatically just regen faster than you can use the stamina for the skill. So as long as you're getting healing from Sage's Remedy, your resources will constantly stay in max. Now, if you don't have Immobilize, what you can do instead is use one of the other banner focuses. Use this with Simmering Frenzy, and that way, while your banner bearer will heal you, the Simmering Frenzy will be the Blood Frenzy will be the thing that takes away your health. Now, the only thing to consider that is using both of these, it will eventually get you to 0 health. You won't die, but it will disable Frenzy, so it will slow down the progress there. But yeah, if you don't have access to Immobilize, that's your option. And if you don't have Immobilize, that won't take away health, so you probably won't hit 0 if you've just got Frenzy and just like another banner skill there. So yeah, that combo there is really good. Just as I said before, probably don't use this if you're going to do the Major Skill Daily, because you'll probably get a bounty as you're trying to run into the town to hand the quest in. But Immobilize is all good. That one's not a criminal act at all. Okay, so next up, we'll talk about the Alchemy option. You need 3 things. You need a poison solvent. I would advise using these over the water solvents, because at base, when you craft 2 reagents with a poison solvent, you get 4 items, and that counts for the endeavor. It just straight up gets it done as soon as you have 1 of each. Whereas with the water ones, you need 4 of the reagents, so it's much more costly doing that as opposed to using poisons. If you're at max level with Alchemy, you will be able to get a passive that lets you craft 4 at a time, but this is just, it's easier if you use poisons, I think, in general. So what you need is, you need your poison solvents. You can get these from killing beasts, or like any sort of monstrous enemy. Things like spiders, skeevers, wolves, bears, those sorts of things. Like the wasps as well, I think they give it. So anything like that. Probably one of the best places to look, if you need one, because you only need 1, right? It's really easy to just use 1. Just go to where it says 1. While you're doing the, like, letting them hurt you for the getting the healing with scribing skills done, afterwards just kill them, and they will usually drop a Ica. One of them will. So that's a pretty easy way to get some. Now, the way these alchemy reagents work, right, is you need to look for something specific. This phrase here, if it says inert, don't use it. If it says unknown, that is what you're looking for. So if it says unknown, you're good, because this means it's going to produce something, you just don't know what it's going to craft yet. Once you do, it'll reveal what actually works together, and then you'll know what kind of potion it makes. In this case, I've got Butterfly Wings and Fleshfly Larva. These 2, I think, are a good combination, because they're both cheap, they're both usually readily available. Maybe not so much Butterfly Wings, but there's a lot of combinations that work together, because each one has 4 things that can work in tandem. Now, if you have 1 reagent and you want to know something that does work with it, you can also check the UASP unofficial Elder Spells pages. So just type in whichever one you've found. As an example here, I've just got Blessed Thistle. In this list here, it'll show you every single reagent that will work with it and what it produces. What it produces isn't really important. The only thing that is the things you need to look for here. Now, some of these things are not worth using because they're expensive. Columbine, Dragon's Blood, as an example. but some things are very cheap. Like Nightshade's usually not too bad. Stinkhorn's pretty good. Some options I would recommend you use together. I will put some in the description for you. Things like Whitecap and Blue Entoloma, Blessed Thistle and Dragonthorn, Water Hyacinth with Lady Smock, Water Hyacinth with Blessed Thistle, stuff like that. Just cheap things that you can actually get on guild stores for a lot less. The main things you want to not use is Columbine, Violet Coprinus, this one here. Anything with dragon in the name is usually pretty hard to find at low price. Dragon Ream and Dragon Blood especially are super expensive. You don't want to use those. You also don't want to use Clam Gall, Powdered Mother of Pearl. Torchbug Thorax, also quite expensive. Yeah, if you're really worried, just check the description and just use any of those combos. You'll know they work. I've tested them pretty thoroughly. So yeah, just pair any of these combos together. That work. I don't want to use that. Don't want to use that. That's too expensive. That doesn't work. Lady Smock. There you go. So just craft that together. Bam. We're done. We've got 4 poisons there, and that alchemy one is sorted. Alright, so now we're going to look at the Guild Daily Quest option. So you've got 5 options for this. The 3 base game options, you've got the Mage's Guild Daily, I think is the best, the Undaunted Daily, and the Fighter's Guild Daily. So the Mage's Guild Daily, you go to a public dungeon, and you just find a chest in there, always next to the group event. It's pretty easy to do, and then you can just travel straight out. I'll explain that in a sec. The Fighter's Guild one, it's just a Dolmen. That's usually pretty easy too. The Undaunted one's usually the most painful because you have to fetch some stuff in a delve, which usually you have to compete with other people if they're there. Usually there won't be many people though. And you also have to kill the boss. Again, if someone else kills the boss, you have to wait for it to respawn. That can take time. You don't need to do that with the other options. They're usually always up. And in like either 30 seconds or the chest for the Mage's Guild Daily, you don't have to worry about people taking that. It's always there available for you. But what you do want to consider is these offer different versions of the scripts. The Focus script, you get that from the Mage's Guild Daily. The Signature is the Fighter's Guild Daily. The Affix script, which personally I think is going to take you the longest to get all the options for, is from the Undaunted Daily. However, only some of these are really important. Force, Vulnerability you get naturally through other methods, so don't worry about that. Yeah, mainly Force and Brittle. Brittle is especially really good. But yeah, as I said, it will be the most painful. And these two here you can get from a variety of other ways, like PvP stuff. And yeah, it's usually, this is the stuff you'll fill up quicker. Okay, so you want to get familiar with one of these houses. Either Flaming Nyx Deluxe Garay, because you can buy this for like 15 grand. It is arguably one of the most worthwhile investments in the game, I personally think, and is well worth your expenditure. The reason for that is, if you buy it, you can just left-click, travel outside, and use this as a free way shrine if you don't want to have to spend a lot of gold through this stuff. Because you'll need to come over here and hand it in and accept it from a place like this. The other potential option is Stormhaven. Using home tours, use Gardener House here. You can do the same thing with this, but Gardener House is a little closer to the places that you're looking for. So you've got the Mage's Guild here. Where's the Fighter's Guild here? Oh, there, sorry. Yeah. So, the only place I don't really recommend doing this with is Growlwood, because this place, you have to hop off your mount to get into Elden Root, and on foot you're just slower. So I just think you're better off using these places here because they're quicker. So I'll just do a Mage's Guild example. There are also 2 more daily quests, guild dailies though, that you can do. You can do the Thieves Guild heist, which is found in His Vein over here. Just be aware, if you haven't done any of the quests in His Vein, it will take you a few hours doing that to get to the point in which you can do heists. I probably don't do that. If you have heists though, basically just follow the objective. There is no way to fail it. You can kill everybody in the place. You just have to loot some chests or some bags of jewelry and then just leave. And there's like maybe a public dungeon boss worth of like difficulty enemy at the end. And you can just kind of like run past them sometimes. So yeah, pretty easy one there. It's just the amount of time getting it sorted, like, first off is quite painful. And then you've got the Dark Brotherhood Black Sacrament. Quicker to do just to kill the target and run away if you find them quickly. And also getting there is a little bit quicker than doing the Thieves Guild one, because again, you've got to go do some quests in Gold Coast. But this one here, you can get a bounty, and a pretty huge one, if you kill the target in plain sight, which is naturally usually going to happen because there's usually enemies around them, or civilians. So yeah, I don't really like doing this one myself. I like the Mages Guild one, because it's just so easy. This is the NPC for the Guild Daily in the Fighters Guild. You'll find them in the capitals. The Undaunted one, Balgrul over here. And this is the NPC for the Mages Guild Daily. So I'm just going to accept a quest from them. So what I usually do for this one is, depending on if I have the way shrine or not, I'll just head straight to the way shrine, or just find out which one it is. Right now it's in East March. This one's pretty easy to get to because you got Windhelm Way Shrine here. Now, if you have never been to this location, as an example, you might get something like the one in Reaper's March. It can be a bit painful to get to because it's over here. And naturally, you don't own any way shrines in this zone. Home Tours is your friend here. You want to use something like Strident Springs Domain, and just travel over here, go down, and just get this way shrine. If you had like Lion's Den, for example, you could use Home Tours with this house. A lot of the places have a home pretty close by, so it's usually quite convenient. But yeah, once you get the way shrine, it's usually pretty straightforward to get there. Whichever one you get, the chest location will always be next to the group event. So if you have an add-on like map pins to show all the locations of the bosses, this can help you figure out where it's going to be. But it'll always have a quest icon anyway. Now, getting through some of these public dungeons is going to be a bit painful, because there'll be a lot of enemies in the way. You can either use a Nightblade build with Cloak to just bypass them. You could also have them all follow you. Use that to heal yourself for the Scribing skill one, because they'll all be linking you with light attacks and stuff. Or you can just run past them and let them de-aggro after following you for a while. Right, here we are. Got the Mad God's Coffer, this chest. There we are, we're literally done. So now is when we use that house that we bought before, or you use Home Tours to get to your garden house over here. So I'm just going to use Deluxe Garret, just travel outside. And that way, you don't have to go through all the enemies again. You can just pull it straight out of the dungeon immediately. It just saves you a lot of time messing around. Do remember, anytime you travel to a new location, or if you swap onto a bar where you don't have banner slotted, it will disable banner. So in this case, I'll just activate it now. Start moving over to the Mages Guild Daily. Yeah, just heading over to where the Mages Guild Daily hand-in is located, I got 10,000 back from that. So yeah, it's pretty quick once you got it sorted. There we are. And that one in, and we're pretty much done with the healing with Scribed abilities one anyway, so yeah. Alright, if you want to try patrolling horrors in the Imperial City districts, it's potentially pretty quick, but it's a gamble. There's only 6 active at a time. There's 12 in total. Oh, wow, I'm bloody just on the... Okay, there we go. Almost got it. Alright, so there's no more extra campaigns. The PvP events are completely gone now, so you've just got the 2 campaigns. Now, there's probably going to be less players running around in the no CP Imperial City option, but you'll be weaker. It's significantly easier doing champion point fighting against these guys, because the patrolling horrors, they're basically world bosses that have no max leash range, so you get into a fight with them and you cannot escape, basically, unless you've got like a means of invisibility, and even then, if they're close to you, they have like an invisibility counter. So yeah, there's a lot to worry about. Also, like I said before, Imperial City, it's a PvP zone. Your healing will be halved. Your damage taken will also be halved, though. I don't know if that counts for regular mobs, though. Alright, so when you get into the safe zone, firstly, don't go through these doors yet. This entire area here doesn't have a single patrolling horror. The only place to find these things is to go into the ladder room. This one here, you'll see the blue flame in the middle, and it won't have an icon in here. You'll see quest icons, but there won't be no like icon like this. This is the ladder room. So each of these ladders here travels to one of the districts. Each of these districts will have one of these patrolling horrors. Now, just like with world bosses on in Overland, if someone kills one, it takes some time to respawn, and naturally, a lot of the time, these things will likely be dead. Here's an example here. We've got Volgas. We've got this EP dude who just rocked up and started attacking it, but doesn't seem to know that we're here. Oh yeah, he's backed up a bit. Interesting. So yeah, the best thing about this is you don't actually have to get the kill. As long as you dealt a bit of damage, you can just kind of chill back. Especially if there's other players, like, just let them do the melee fighting if there's more of like another faction around it. But like if I just go back and let them kill it. Go for it, boys. There we go. So yeah, it will still count. So you can see I can loot the boss here. I've already done the other endeavors, but if you end up, as long as you do probably like, oh interesting, as long as you probably do like 1% or 2% damage, it's usually enough. So as long as you just did anything, as long as you just smacked it a bunch of times, even if you're dead on the floor, once the boss is dead, you can go and loot the boss, and it will give you stuff. Now, it's worth noting that there are only 6 world bosses, patrolling horrors that give you monster sets. So if you can find those, it might be better focusing on them. But whether or not they'll be there is another thing. Because I think when one dies, the next one spawns. I'm not too sure though. But each district has one boss with a monster set and one that doesn't. So here's a list of all the patrolling horrors. So each of these districts here, one of them will have a monster set. So Maligda is one, Gorgoloch is another. We saw King Crow go the other day. So yeah, if you just hover over these, it'll show you what they look like. They're impossible to miss. They're all huge, especially Ascender here and Maligda. Maligda's fucking huge. So yeah, Nunatak is also a monster set one. Zoal is a monster set. Baron Thirsk is a monster set. And I believe Char is as well. I just need to check. Yeah, so that's the other one. So there's 6. So if you get this thing here, this is an item set browser. You can get this as an add-on as well. If you type Imperial and then Monster, just barring this one, this is a dungeon, but the other 6, this shows you the 6 that you can get. So just, yeah, keep an eye on these names. These are the more important ones. Also, this is probably not going to be useful soon because they're changing things. But if you leave... if you want to get out of here, if you've gone down here and you don't want to have to go all the way back, because getting back to Overland through Imperial City sucks, because you have to go through the sewers, you have to wade through all the shit in the way. There's like lots of danger. You can get found by a player. If a player finds you, especially if you're a PvE build, you're fucking dead. Like they basically just have to look at you and you die, how much damage they do. So if you want to avoid all that shit, just go to Cyrodiil here, go right click, enter campaign, and go accept. So the only issue with this is, I think soon they're going to be changing the way this works. If you have Telvar on you, or I think over 1,000, or maybe even 100, something like that, you won't be able to do that. So if you want to make that quicker, just let someone kill you. That one maybe if you type /stuck, you could also get away, but you'd have to just pay a bit of gold maybe for that. I'm not sure if that'll work though. Yeah, when they release that patch, just I'll think of something. Also, one last thing could be really handy, especially if you're in there on your own. If you see the districts here, or the ones on this edge, if the district's under your control, take the boss over to them, because the district flag, it's got some guards on it, and the guards will fight the bosses. And there's, as I said before, there's no leash range. There's no maximum range that you can take the boss before they lose interest, as opposed to everywhere else. So that is a handy thing. And those guards will help you a fair bit. They're actually pretty good. I would only really do this if you know there's going to be, like, if you go there and you just see lots of your faction's banners everywhere. If it's all owned by another faction, you probably get down there and get killed by someone and have to respawn in like fuck around more. And in that case, you're probably better off doing the other options anyway. And yeah, I'm not even going to talk about a trial. This is the worst option by far. On average, I'd say I wait 20 or 30 minutes just waiting for a trial to start, let alone doing a trial, which also takes another 20-30 minutes, maybe more, depending on how competent the group is. The only thing I would consider, is a Cloud Rest run in Somerset if you've got that DLC. If your team in Cloud Rest is competent, it can take around 10 or 15 minutes. Maybe quicker, but most of the time not. And in that case, you could do this whole set pretty easily in 15 minutes anyway, so I wouldn't even bother. Okay, I think that's enough information. Yeah, but any questions about anything here, just give me a holler as always. I'm always here. The Golden Pursuit will be starting in a few days. It'll be interesting because we only have 7 days to... I don't know if I'll be able to even do a video for that, but I will talk about it still. Alright, that'll be all from me. So thanks everyone. I'll see you next time. Yeah, peace out.